Hey guys, Shadow Reviewer here. Well, here we are. My ranking of The Legend of Korra Book 1 episodes from worst to best. Now, a couple of things we've decided. This list is just my opinion. I will not be going off the script this time, so bear with me, hence why I ranked this episode high and low. But I've got a very good memory because this video is probably going to be one of the few shorter ranking videos I've done. And just have a good time, y'all. So let's get into it. And what I consider the worst episode of Legend of Korra Book 1 is number 12, Episode 5, The Spirit of Competition. Well, there's number I had to say, this is Korra at her worst. So, toying with both Mako and Bolan's feelings and nearly breaking up the close brotherly bond was honestly a horrendous move on her part. Oh, and trying to break up Mako and Asami was not cool, Korra. And while I like the bending, the pro bending sequences, it still doesn't make up for the fact that even though she kinda apologizes to Bolan, she doesn't apologize to Mako. Oh, and kissing Mako in front of Bolan was a real ass move of you, Korra. This is honestly you at your worst. Thankfully, this is the only time where she was selfish. Thankfully. Number 11, Episode 2, A Leaf in the Wind. Well, while I do like the character introductions of Bolan and Mako, Korra acts way too reckless here. While I will say, this is not a worse of a trope. She's starting out, and I will give her a pass on that. But ignoring Tenzin's warnings about getting distracted was kind of iffy on her part. But I will say, the pro-bending acting sequences were still great. And Tenzin has his funny moment of, moment. Still a bit of funny bit. But that little bit of Korra ignoring Tenzin's warnings when she's supposed to learn to airbend was a little iffy, but hey, it's better than what we got. Number 10, Episode 6, and the winner is... Well, I will say, there are some bits in this episode that are very, very, very slow. But I will say, for what we did get, it's a pretty good action sequence. And while it ends on a somewhat cliffhanger ending, it's still good enough, and I like the scenes between Tenzin and Lin. But the way they kind of handled the whole, not holding the pro bending tournament bit was kind of iffy, and the winning team getting their bending taken away was kind of not satisfying. I mean, I like that the Firefarers didn't win the whole tournament. That was a good twist, but the guys that beat them should have gotten more satisfying. At least that's just my opinion. But still good action sequence though. Number 9, Episode 1, Welcome to Republic City. Sorry about that. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad introduction. It's a good introduction. Korra is a pretty good lead. I like Tenzin, instantly likable. And I like that Korra wants to learn more about the world outside of the temple. And we get a good scene with Katara. But revealing herself as the Avatar was a kind of an iffish move, particularly in the very first episode. But I do like how they introduce Amon as our main antagonist here. A very solid reveal. I will give them that. But showing Korra as a bit reckless, kind of an interesting character dynamic. Well, she does get better later on. Here is where, it's passable enough. Number 8, Episode 10, Turning the Tides. Well, I will say, the episode is is okay enough. I mean, there's not much to remember in this episode. I mean, apart from Lin saving Tenzin and the kids, there's not much to remember in this one. I don't know. I somehow forgotten about this episode. I guess that's why I ranked it this low. Let me know down in the comments if you could tell me what the plotting was again. I do remember Lin getting her bending taken away for not revealing where Korra's location is, but props to her for doing this, so very solid. Number 7, episode 12, Endgame. Now I have to say, a very well done season finale. Somewhat. I love the satisfying moment where Korra finally learns airbending. Amon being revealed as a bender was a really satisfying reveal, and the ending they gave him and Tarlok. Wow. What a powerful ending. And Korra getting her bending taken away, except her end bending, was a legit sad moment. I mean, damn, that's gotta hit hard. But then they pulled the rug out from under us. Now, don't get me wrong, Aang being here in the final episode of the season was really well done. The way they ex machina getting her bending back kind of makes the whole final episode pointless, yeah? I mean, I do like they give Lin her bending back, but it kind of felt a deus ex machina, like, when did Aang learn this power? Never explained. But, again, good enough season finale. The ending for the villain was satisfying. The fight scenes were great. Enough said, really. Number 6, episode 11, Skeletons in the Closet. The episode before the season finale is really, really great. The reveal of Tarlok being Amon's brother was a really fantastic reveal. I mean, that I never saw coming. That was great. And the way they do Tarlok and Amon's backstory was fantastic here. Well, there's barely any action sequences here. It's more revealing the villain's backstory, and I think it was handled pretty damn well. Yeah, kind of disturbing how they learned bloodbending from a literal abusive monster. So yeah, great backstory. Although there's barely anything when they cut to the present day, although it does end on a good cliffhanger note. Number 5, episode 8, When Extremes Meet. I will say, I love that Korra, Asami, Bolin, and Mako go out of their way to try and track down the Equalists themselves. It shows that they work together as a team, and it's a fun action sequence. And Tarlok getting Korra to surrender to arrest her friends was a very evil move on his part. And the twist and the reveal that he was a bloodbender the whole time was a fantastic reveal. And man, the cliffhanger ending, what absolute downer ending. Jeez. But what we did get from out of that was a great. Shows that Tarlok is a very good secondary antagonist. Very solid. But there is a bit of pacing issues here and there, but still, good. Okay, so here we come to 4 pretty much near perfect episodes here. Very solid. And starting at number 4, we have episode 3, The Revelation. Yeah, this was honestly a fantastic way to reveal who the main threat is, what his powers are, and a fantastic setting to do it in. Amon does a fantastic job making him intimidating. His powers of taking bending away permanently is a disgusting power, a disturbing power being put in the wrong hands, and the tension that Bolin almost gets his bending taken away was a really fantastic action sequence. It shows that Korra and Mako and Bolin have a really powerful, good friendship. It's a very solid move. And it shows that Amon is not one you screw around with. I mean, wow. What an intimidating force. So yeah, I think it's a solid episode. Number 3, episode 7, The Aftermath. And here we have another good character-driven episode that I think is done very well. I love the build-up of Mr. Sato, Asami's father, being not only a member of the Equalists, but working directly with Amon. I love the tension of is he or isn't he, and the tensional breakup of Korra and Mako's friendship. Like, should she stick with her instincts, or should he stick with the friendship? And once it's revealed, wow. And this is honestly Asami at her best. Asami's character writing at her best. I mean, having to work alongside her father or her friends was a very tough choice to make. And you gotta feel bad for this girl. Having to find out that your father is working for the enemy is freaking heartbreaking. And she definitely needs the support. So, she made a very tough choice, and I commend her for that. So yeah, I think this was a fantastic, character-driven episode that was really freaking solid. Number 2, episode 9, Out of the Past. The origin of bloodbending, huh? Coming from the most evil secondary antagonist from Tarlok. So yeah, his father was taken to court and almost sentenced to the death penalty for bloodbending. And we get really good cameos from Sokka, Toph, and especially Aang. And we get, honestly, an intense action sequence where Amon and his equalists find Tarlok, and while Tarlok's able to bloodbend the two guards, he can't bloodbend Amon. Okay, he can, but very slowly. And in the rare occasion where I actually root for Amon to take his bending away from him, wow. But the scene where Korra breaks herself out was honestly an absolutely clever move on our part. She has her smart moments, and this is honestly one of them. Getting Tarlok's pass was a very, 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 very well paced. So yeah, I think this episode is pretty imperfect. Except for one. And honestly, let's get to it. And what I consider my number 1 favorite episode of Legend of Korra Book 1 is number 1, episode 4, The Voice in the Night. Talk about an episode you got me crying. So, the way they handle Korra's fear of meeting Amon and getting her bending and taken away is fantastically, perfectly paced. Props to Korra's voice actor for conveying the fear, the confusion, and just overall trauma of having to face what she has to do. And I love Tenzin in this episode especially. This is him also at his best, where he wants to comfort Korra in any way he can. I mean, he is the mentor. And the scene where she confronts Amon and he tells her, "I'm not taking your bending away yet," is honestly Amon at his most intimidating. The scene where he confronts Korra and has her right where he wants her is honestly terrifying. And the scene where Korra breaks down crying in Tenzin's arms and him telling her everything's going to be okay is honestly some of the most beautiful vocal performance ever. The animation, the setting, the atmosphere, the acting is phenomenal here. And ending it on a dire cliffhanger, man. Oh, you got me tugging at the heartstrings here. There's no doubt about it. Book 1, Chapter 4, The Voice in the Night, is what I consider my number 1 favorite episode from Book 1. The other seasons got some competition, but hopefully it can live up to this one. Fingers crossed. And that's the end of the video, folks. Hope you like it. Give me a thumbs up, like and comment, subscribe, and I hope to get more videos out like this. Speaking of which, later today, I'll be looking at the Sonic CD bosses and rank them from worst to best. Keep an eye out for that video. Until then, I'm the Shadow Reviewer, signing off.